Hello friends, welcome back to Bonsai Life Part 2 from the Unit 7 Part B of the 8th Standard English textbook SSC Board Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. On to the summary now. From the very start, Akaya had been keen on studying. Keen means very sharp and very eager on studying. She wanted to learn. But Nanagaru did not educate her, because she was not adept at oral arithmetic in sense mathematics, generally the tables and all, or whatever addition subtraction. When they ask orally, if the child does not answer, generally the elders conclude that the child is not good at mathematics. So that is what it happened. Because she was not adept at oral arithmetic, she was not good at it, Nanagaru had said, she's a girl, how will studies get into her head? So this came as a conclusion by the father that the studies is not the cup of tea of that girl. So he did not educate her and had her maid discontinue her lessons, concentrating only on Annaya's education. So at that particular period of time, what the father did, this Nanagaru did, is he stopped the education of Akaya and he concentrated only on the education of Annaya. Annaya means the elder brother. Because she was uneducated, she got married to a man from a village and had to look after the cattle, keep the stove clean, draw water from the well. So she was just confined to the household works as she was married to a man in the village. Amma used to be very upset that Akaya had to go through such drudgery. Now, as Akaya had to work a lot in the village, Amma was very much worried about her. Realizing that Akaya was upset, thinking of the past, and in an attempt to divert her mind, I led her to the balcony saying, "Come, let's go and sit outside." So now as Akaya was going into a pensive mood, she was getting into a sad mood, thinking about the days when she was discontinued from her education and all. The narrator did not want it to happen because she is her guest. So she just wanted to cheer her up. So she took her to the balcony and she wanted to cheer her up in this way. And then, looking at the plants in the flower pots, Akaya mentioned that all the cucumbers, drumsticks, and gongura were from their own backyard. So, as she looked at the potted plants, that is, the narrator had put some plants in the flower pots in the balcony. Looking at them, immediately Akaya remembered her plantation, her garden, and she says that all that she has brought, all those vegetables that she has brought, are all grown in her own backyard. I asked her to send some gongura seeds the next time someone comes this way. So the narrator asked her to send some gongura seeds. But Ammalu, what is this? Why have you planted the turai and the pomegranate trees in these flower pots? See how stunted they have become. If you like flower plants, you put these trees in pots instead of letting them grow freely in the backyard. How will they grow? She asked, surprised, feeling sorry for the trees. Now she could see the pomegranate tree and the turai tree in the potted, in the flower pot. So she did not find it, actually, it did not suit the trees to be in the pot, and she has never seen the trees in the pots, and she immediately commented why the narrator had put them in the pots and why she is restricting their natural growth. I burst into laughter. Now the narrator started laughing. Akaya was perplexed. She was confused. What's this? I asked the right question. Why is she putting these trees in the pot? And she is laughing. I just asked her to put in the backyard so that they can grow freely. What is this? What's making her laugh? So Akaya was confused. I did it on purpose. It's a special method. It's called bonsai in Japan. You can grow even a huge banyan tree in a flower pot. So, why this narrator was laughing is actually she did not put those trees in the flower pot. Actually, it is an art. That art is called bonsai art, and this is developed by the Japanese, and she did it on purpose, wherein in the pot itself they would grow like trees and give fruits. That is what is the art all about. So she started laughing. You can grow it even with its root hanging down from the branches. So they look like the trees. You can see that in the picture over there. You have no idea how beautiful a pomegranate tree looks when you keep cutting its branches, changing the pot now and then, trimming it into a small sized tree and making it bear fruit. So she says you are always habituated to looking at the pomegranate tree living in the natural habitat. But when you look at the pomegranate in a flower pot, and if it is potted and if you keep cutting it and pruning it every now and then, and it starts bearing flowers and fruits, how beautiful it looks. You know that, she says. Do you know how carefully you have to tend this small tree? Tend means grow it. So you know how much care we have to show towards this trees to have to make it bear flowers and fruits. It needs a lot of care and concern. Bonsai is a great art. I said, bonsai is a great art. You need to have a lot of concern towards the plants. Then only you can practice this art, she says. But it seemed as if Akaya did not appreciate what I said. Though the narrator was telling that it was a great art, it needed a lot of skill and it needed a lot of care, Akaya was not impressed. I don't know. You have confined a turai tree to a flower pot when it could have grown to the height of a building, she sighed. So she was not convinced with it. She felt that it was not at all justice for her to put the turai tree in the pot. She felt that it should be grown in the backyard only. Then only it can live its natural life. Feeling disheartened at being unable to impress Akaya with my bonsai, I collapsed weakly into a chair. Now the narrator was disappointed. She felt that Akaya might appreciate her art, that bonsai art, but Akaya was not impressed. So she sat in a very disappointed mood. I was most distressed, as if the entire art I had learned had come to naught. Naught means nothing. Nought. Naught means actually zero. Zero means nothing. Whatever she had gathered the information, how much ever she excelled in the bonsai art, it's of no use because she could not impress Akaya. It was like throwing perfume into ash. So she felt that whatever value her art has to be given was not given because it was not shown to the person who deserves to be shown or the person who can appreciate. That is what she felt. Suddenly, a dust storm began to rage. There was a sudden dust storm. The sand hit our faces harshly. Immediately, all the sand, dust came and hit their faces. I caught hold of Akaya's shoulder and dragged her into the room. So you all know they were both standing in the balcony and all the dust sand was coming into their eyes. So she dragged her Akaya inside the house. Then I closed the doors and windows in a hurry. So immediately she closed all the doors and windows so that the dust particles do not come inside the house. Akaya was stunned. Stunned means shocked. What is this? What happened all of a sudden? She was thinking. What's all this? Everything was normal till now. Where did the dust and wind come from suddenly? You have tar roads too, she said. She says, where from all this dust came here? There are no mud roads also. All the roads are also made of tar. Then how did all this dust come? She asks. This is how it is in the big city, my dear. Before we know what is happening, the storm brings all the sand from the Rajasthan desert and hits our face. I had not completed my sentence when I could hear the rain beginning to fall. I opened the door and pulled the bonsai tree pots and flower pots inside under the canopy. So, before she could complete the sentence, it started raining heavily. So, she brought the pots, the flower pots as well as the bonsai tree pots inside to protect them from the harsh rains. Akaya opened a side window and looked at the streets to observe the weather in the Indian capital. Now Akaya wanted to have a glance at the surroundings there during the rainy day. So she opened the window and looked at the scenery over there. The Indian capital means this is Delhi. Look, Amalu, look there, she said. A new enthusiasm seemed to have crept into her voice. Till now, she was thinking about those flashback days and she was very much in a sad mood. And all of a sudden, she was very excited. There was some happiness, glitter, and glow in her voice. And she says, look there, there is something. Come on, she says. And the narrator was also happy that Akaya is a little bit happy. What is that? I looked eagerly through the window towards the street. So she felt there is something new over there. There's something interesting over there. I could not understand what she meant, but she could not find anything interesting or anything very strange over there, and she was wondering why Akaya is so happy and excited. I looked at her and said, what is it? What's so strange? There's nothing so strange. It's all an ordinary scene over there. Look at that tree. Look at how many people are standing under it without getting wet, she said, as if it was something out of the ordinary. Now you all know trees. Generally, these are ordinary things and people stand beneath the tree when it rains. So it's not something very strange or extraordinary. And looking at it, Akaya says, look at that. People are standing under the tree. What is this? What is nothing so strange about it? She wonders. I saw nothing unusual in it. Realizing that I had not understood what she was getting at, she said again, look how tall the turai had grown out in the open. See how freely it has grown. However powerful the sandstorm, it hasn't bowed a little bit. Moreover, it has provided shelter to so many people and is protecting them. Imagine how many would find a respite from the hot sun under its shade. Now, Akaya could understand that the narrator could not understand what she was telling. Now she is elaborating. She says, look at that turai tree, how tall it has grown, and it doesn't need anyone's care or concern. It can support itself. It can stand strong even in the sandy storm and in the rain. Not only that, it provides shelter to many people. Respite means relief. Even during the sunny days, people come and rest under its shelter. It can give both shelter as well as shade during the sunny days. What's so surprising about that? I asked. Not that it is surprising, Amalu. Look at the bonsai you have tended so lovingly. It looks proper and sweet like a housewife. But see how delicate it is. You have to tend it very carefully. It can't even withstand a small dust storm or squall when it is dependent on someone. How can it provide shelter to anyone? So she says that look at that turai tree, it stands strong, it gives shelter to many. But look at this bonsai, though it is beautiful to look at, very tender and delicate and elegant, it needs someone to take care of it. That is how the life of a housewife is. It may be very protected, it may be very safe, it may be very secure, but it is always dependent on others. So this is why the topic bonsai life has been given. That is a life which looks very delicate, very tender, very soft, very beautiful, yet it is dependent on others. The bonsai tree is dependent on others. That is what Akaya is comparing the housewife's life with. Isn't it because of the difference in the way one brings up a boy and a girl that a woman's life is like that of a bonsai? So it is all because of the gender discrimination that a boy's life is like a turai tree grown in the open air, and the girl's life is like a bonsai tree grown up in a pot. So that is what she tells about the bringing up of her brother and her. The brother was educated very well. Annaya was educated very well, and now he is a strong man who can support others, whereas she was discontinued from her education. She was a dropout and she is dependent on her husband. My heart was touched by Akaya's words. Yes, of course, it was true. The narrator could not deny the truth. She accepted that the life of a housewife is like that of a bonsai tree, which is dependent on others. Just as one frees a bird from a cage to let it fly, I felt the urge to free the bonsai trees from their flower pots. So, as soon as Akaya said this, the narrator realized how necessary it was for the bonsai tree to be planted in the open air so that it has its natural habitat and grows in the natural way to become a strong tree. So, as and how someone frees a bird in order to fly in the open sky and live its life with all its freedom, so did the narrator want to free those trees from the pots and wanted to plant them in the backyard. So this is how she feels that it was necessary to make those plants strong enough to withstand any of the climatic conditions. Hope this session was useful to you all and you could understand what is the true empowerment of a woman and how much education is necessary for a woman, not only for financial empowerment but for the empowerment of her integrity. Hope this session was useful to you all. Thank you for watching and have a great day ahead. Please click the like button and share with your friends, and your comments will really boost my energy. Thank you.